Hello and welcome to the 2025 Shelly Sharpe Memorial. I'm your host and defending champion, Parker Welck. Terry Miller will not be in the booth with me today, but I hope you guys are just as excited as I am to get this out for you. Couldn't be happier to be doing this for this group of guys here. A couple of my really good friends, Anthony Barela, Ricky Wysocki, Adam Hammis, and Parker Welck. As you guys know, we play this course quite frequently, but that time is going to come to an end. We do have a little bit of a makeover coming to Vista del Camino. Not sure how much that's going to change with the disc golf course, but we have it for now as we get into hole one. It's 284 feet with that triple mando right off the tee with the sloping hill going towards the OB on the left. You're probably going to see about 50-50 sidearms and backhands here. Something just to match the angle of the hill and hopefully get into circle one. Because if you're short, you got a long putt that could potentially roll away. And you can see that wall in the background. In previous years, the OB line was about a foot shy of that. So if you went into the wall, you would be out of bounds. But this year, the wall is the line. Just keep that in mind. So Ricky needs to get lucky here. All right, pretty decent roll, about circle's edge. And this will be Adam Hammis' first tournament throw of the 2025 season. I know he's been getting a ton of snow in Wisconsin, so wanted to come out here and get ready before heading out to Florida. This is a perfect tournament to do it at. We got Anthony about 40 feet here for the birdie. Leaves it just low, which is not the end of the world. We do have plenty of holes left, although I know he's thinking that he really needs to get them all. And it's weird saying that because during round one, 12 of the 18 holes played over par. As Ricky makes a great putt there to start off his round. But 12 holes, that was kind of unexpected. So, I mean, it really tells you how difficult this course is and like how easy that the top professionals actually make this look. Comes at you quick. You take one bogey, then you take two, and all of a sudden you're 6 over. That's just how it is out here. As Adam and I will tap out our birdies. Thankfully, we did not have to putt. But we'll get into hole two. It's going to be 415 feet. This one was one of the ones playing just over par. I think you'll see most of us playing the sidearm, kind of flex it right where the camera is going and have it skip back up to the right, going against the hill. But as you guys saw in the memorial coverage, we did see that Ezra Aderhold play where he's throwing the giant spike hyzer over everything. Ricky slipping about an entire foot length on that toss, but he still somehow manages to get a decent toss off. He'll be just outside of circle one, call it 35 feet. Loving this line, just has to miss the tree, and great shot by Adam just over the basket. So that's a tap in on hole one and hole two for birdie. That's the ideal start. And if you're wondering why it's so wet out, but it's not actually raining, it did rain for about 12 minutes, like right before we teed off. There were a bunch of people on the course that had zero rain gear. I do not think that it was in the forecast at all. But although it wasn't coming down on us, we did have to play in every single hole with soaking wet tee pads and muddy fairways and dust all over our putters. Barela striking the cage. That would have been a sweet way to get back to 2 under. Ricky's looking dialed. That's two basically same putts just outside the circle, downhill looking at it. Both looked really good for Ricky. And I'll be up next. That he took his shoes off the putt. I think we might see it on the next hole. There is like a river going through the fairway about 30 feet shy of the basket. So that's what they were referring to when they were talking about a guy putting with his shoes off. And thank you to Spinners for putting on this tournament. As we get to hole 3, 360-foot par 3. Not too much danger to worry about, except for one little crevice right there on the right of our screen. There's a little culvert about 10 feet long. That is the only out of bounds that we really need to worry about. Going over the fence or over the sidewalk left is also out of bounds, but I don't think we'll see that here.
That was horrible.
Ricky calling it horrible. I'm calling it a birdie look from Circle's Edge.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah, nice. I didn't know if you were going to get over it.
Nice shot by Adam.
Mark, shot. Shot, dude.
About 25 feet from myself. And here's that Luna thrower, Barela. Lovely shot there as well. Just low, and you got to be thinking, he just had 2 downhill putts from Circle's Edge. Right there, he's just outside of circle, but he's going uphill at a raised basket. So that's definitely playing tricks on him. He missed just barely low, but that's probably the reason why. Good birdies by the crew. Ricky will tap out his par.
Big boy can't get over the puddle.
I'll take the wife.
Hole 4 is 381 feet. I think the only play that's kind of viable is the giant spike hyzer out over the tree on the right that we're about to pass through, and kind of have it spike in, hopefully towards the basket, and try not to get any ground play. Behind that wall is out of bounds, and to the left is out of bounds as well, pretty much the entire way. You also do not want to flip one over and go on the roof over there. You'll lose a disc. No getting that one back. Adam looking like he's taking a 2-step toss, about 30% power, just because this tee pad was so caked up it's slippery. And I'll be underneath a tree out there. It's a little tricky. I wanted to get that one a little more left.
Thank you.
Ricky laughing. He just stepped in a giant puddle off the front of the tee pad. Will that be safe? Yes. Barely.
It did.
Yeah, boy.
So with Ricky safe, he'll have a look just outside the circle. I'll be up first. Oh. Just barely left, trying to keep the perfect start alive. Anthony looking strong. He's hearted every putt except for that hole one putt, which was in the middle, just low. As Adam becomes your solo leader at 4 under through 4. Just about a dream start. I think if someone were to go 5 under through 5, that would be the most ideal start. Although, as you guys know, hole 5, tricky one. You do have an option. You either go for it or you lay up. It is only 386 feet, but there's 4 mandos you got to deal with. These 2 wider ones don't necessarily come into play unless you really shank it, but these 2 towards the pin, it's kind of hard. That's about 360 feet away from the tee pad, and you got to hit a gap that's 20 feet wide. A lot of decisions here. Do you keep the perfect start going, or do you lay up? Great shape to it. I think he was laying up. Just take that par, move on. Anthony's just got this hole dialed. You guys have no idea how hard that shot actually is. Ricky going for it. Get left. Oh. Just misses the mando, so now he will be going to about a 40 to 45 foot putt to save par. I am just electing to lay up. I don't want any part of this hole. Thought we were going to see some raptor legs. Tried running it in. There's that raised basket, though. Giving him some trouble. And that's a great birdie. He'll join 5 other people, making it 6 total birdies on the day. So that one playing pretty dang hard to birdie. But it should be pretty easy to par if you just lay up. As we move on to ginormous hole 6, 783 feet. So many different ways to play this hole. I think this is such a good hole. You can go backhand, forehand, flex, backhand, anything you want off the tee. You just want to land into a nice landing zone to where you have a wide open shot to the pin. There is OB on both sides throughout the entire way, so as long as you're staying in the middle, shouldn't be an issue. Early out of bounds left for Barela. That's going to take everything he has to get to the basket from there.
A little low.
It was a little low, but that shuffleboard action put him in a pretty good spot. I don't think he'll have anything in the way going towards the pin. Ricky low left as well. Will it sit? Very close to the out of bounds. Now there was wind starting to pick up at this point. As you see the trees in the background kind of shaking. It was pretty calm up until about this point. But there's a pretty sturdy right to left wind. All right. Well, Anthony will have a look to save his par. My disc out left. It never actually came back in bounds. The wind was just holding it. So I will be playing from a little bit further back. And like I said, Adam with the most ideal drive you can have. Absolutely nothing in the way towards the pin. That's the way to play the hole. There's that wind. Doesn't really look like it. That's so hard to tell on video. You put that thing on hyzer and it just glides over it. Great comebacker from Rick. We'll take that par after that tee shot. Now Adam looking to take a stroke on the card. And I think that was all wind. He put it high enough. That thing just slammed straight in the cage. I had to take a second look. I thought that was jumping right back out at me. So I don't think anyone's too happy with hole 6. Adam will take the par and we'll all move on to hole 7. At 645 foot par 4? Seems pretty short, but I'll tell you, it's not easy. With this right to left wind, you're going to see a lot of shots swing left too much and not really have a chance to go for the green. There is out of bounds on both sides off the tee as well, so you just kind of try to keep one in the middle. And as you can see now, the wind is really starting to pick up.
Oh boy.
Low, but in the middle, he will have a chance to go for the green if he wants it from there.
Thank you.
Ricky's shot also getting smashed down, but right in the middle is where you want it. Fantastic shot. It looked like he threw that about 30% power. A little unlucky off the light post. If it misses that, I'm basically in the best spot you could be. But I'll elect to go for it from way back here. And we'll put it close. And this is one of those holes where if you do miss the island, you go to a drop zone that is not very friendly. You know, you don't really have an opportunity to make the putt. It's not like hole 5 where you had a 45 footer. This one is about 130, 150 feet. Anthony is almost pin high with the drop zone. And he's just putting it. So, massive shot off the tee for Anthony. Puts him in pretty easy spots to get the birdie. And I'll take that par every time for going out of bounds that early. Not sure a lot of people would go for it from where I was, but needed to take that chance. I'm falling behind a little bit. Got to keep up with these guys. No, good hole by the guys. Everyone threw it in 3 shots. I'll just take that penalty. As we get to the scenic hole 8, 360 feet. We did have a strong tailwind here, so normally people are throwing mids, maybe even putters. I know AB likes to throw that Luna, but everyone's going to be disking down here, just letting the wind do the work. See how the wind is just making that thing fly. I believe that was a breaker by Adam. Put him just long. Ricky leaking out left. I think he was expecting that to flip a little bit more. Not sure which disc that was. Great shot by AB, throwing Luna. And I'll just take a harp and put it right there as well. So this hole is a ton of fun to throw. This is one of those holes where you just want to empty your bag on. And great putt by Ricky, making the adjustment. He was having a little bit of putting struggles, it seemed like, towards a few holes ago. Maybe missed 3 in a row, I believe. So, fantastic putt to get him right back on business. Good putt by Adam. Anthony will have a 18-footer for the birdie. Pretty good hole by the guys, but I would like to shout out Cody Wood getting the hole-in-one on this hole. I know it was earlier in the day, and I wish I could have saw it, because I've never seen this one actually aced before. I hope someone got that on film. So, good job, Cody. As we all take birdies, we'll have a star frame. And we get to the last hole on the front 9, 482 feet. This one is playing tough. The water line is actually much higher than what this video is showing, so the sidearm is definitely a lot sketchier than it normally would be, because the water is actually the out of bounds, not the ledge. So you'll see some sidearms, maybe some backhand spike hyzers, anything inbounds off the tee. This isn't really one of those holes where it's like a must birdie or you're really trying to get it, because this one is playing just over a half a stroke over par. So you're not really losing any strokes getting a par here. Anthony trying to hit that airplane. Goodness, dude. I think that's inside the circle. It's either circle's edge. I don't even know. What a shot by Anthony. And I'll take the sidearm. Water wasn't really sure, but we did go up there and it was in the water. And the card elected to have me play it from right where the disc is, assuming that I hit the wall. There's Ricky with a great layup there. It's not easy in this wind. No, not that facial expression. I was thinking putt it. Then I was thinking sidearm putt it. So don't do this at home. Just go ahead and lay this one up if this is you guys. Not very smart, but we almost got it. Yeah. That is one of the more impressive shots that anyone has ever seen on this hole. Throwing a hyzer to the right of all the trees and having it get all the way back to the pin is just unheard of. Couple good pars by Wysocki and Hamas.
Holy crap. Yeah, freaking 8 inches into his skull. Dead.
Yeah, maybe made a giant mark in the ground. That's what they were looking at with his disc. So we get to hole 10, and it does look a lot different to you guys. You're not tripping. There's a line of trees on the right side that did get taken out. So they did put a mando in. They put a giant pole right where the shorter pin position is. So it's about 30 feet high. You have to stay left of it, so you can't be throwing the backhand hyzers off the tee. They left the pole OB on both sides, so it's going to be kind of one of those you need to stay in the middle, and then you'll pitch up. Hopefully nothing's in the way. Make your putt, get a birdie sort of deals. A little low, right in the ground. He'll have a bit of work to do if he wants to get that birdie. I think it's going to take a pretty dang good sidearm to get all the way to the pin from where Adam is. Ricky finding that out of bounds left, and the wind was really just pushing all the discs left. And that's my layup play. Watching everyone kind of make some mistakes off the tee, so I'll just lay it up. Kind of a similar shot to the tee shot, just a little low. Pretty good shot from there. I think I'll be right outside the circle. Maybe just inside. Maybe the circle's edge. Ricky needs to sit down. There is that OB up there that he almost met. And this is a pretty good win for Adam to maybe even give this one a little bid. I'm not sure if he was trying that there or not, but he stayed pretty close. Now, at this point, the wind was absolutely ripping. I'm not sure any of us were expecting anyone to be making putts here. So when Ricky made that, I was kind of blown away. Somehow tap that one in. Anthony taking some extra time. He just watched 2 big putts go in. And he'll nail his too. And now Adam has a chance to go shank tee shot, shank up shot, and potentially get a par. Good putt by Adam. Great par after those first 2 shots. Now we're starting to complain about the wind. It was just kept getting harsher and harsher for us throughout the round. Let's get to hole 11, 759 feet. This one plays so difficult, and now with this wind, it's going to be playing extremely hard. It played almost an entire stroke over par. The wind was ripping left to right here, so the discs are going to want to just slam to the ground. Yeah, Anthony threw that about 100 feet past mine, and I threw mine basically as hard as I could.
Stable disc going straight.
And Ricky and I are kind of in the same boat. We really are still trying to learn our new discs. We kind of swapped bags. He hooks me up with a bunch of his old plastic, and I have yet to hook him up with some of my old stuff, but I hooked his brother up. Very sketchy upshot. And we'll take it. That was my most overstable fairway in my bag, and it flew basically straight. So that'll tell you a little bit how the wind is affecting the flights. Ricky gets fortunate enough to not kick out of bounds. There is that mando these guys have to deal with, so this is a very difficult shot. Adam needs that to sit down. And he will find that out of bounds. Looks like Ricky's got some roots to deal with here. And he's throwing a hyzer towards the OB with left to right wind. Fantastic shot. That OB line is a lot tighter than people would actually think. So if he leaves that a little loose, it's out of bounds. Adam to save par, and that needs to sit as well. Okay, that's manageable. We'll have Barela up next for birdie. And he's about, I don't know, 11 inches away from the out of bounds right there. He almost just put that out of bounds. But I'll take the lone birdie on the card. We'll see if these guys can clean up here. And this hole is tied for the hardest hole on the course, averaging 0.71 over par. Adam would like that one back. Another one right in the cage. He'll take a double bogey after that fantastic start he had. And he'll be back down to 4 under. And this is the other hardest hole. So back to back, they're both playing as 0.71 over par. It's 427 feet, but it's playing like 600 in this wind. And I think only the biggest of arms are going to be able to get over this gunite and the current wind that we have right now. If you do not cross, you do go to a drop zone, which is extremely hard to get close to the pin as well. I only threw that one at about 98% power. I probably should have thrown it at 170% power to get it across. Just joking. I threw it a little nose up and no chance. So I'll be going to the drop zone. Anthony's looking like he's leaking out left out of bounds. But he crossed. So because he crossed, he'll have a chance to save par from up there. Ricky will be safe with a very long look. Adam playing the safe route as well. And I'll be up next, throwing from the drop zone. Almost puts it in. We'll be about 5 feet. Just a little short on the upshot. This is still so difficult. Ricky's disc almost flipped into a roller almost there. That would have been crazy if that caught edge. Anthony just laughs at that one. The wind is just slamming on our stuff. But he'll tap in the bogey. 6 under through 12 is still pretty dang good, especially in this wind. I'll tap in my bogey. And Ricky and Adam both playing it safe. They'll get their pars, take a stroke on Anthony, and try and get a little closer to him. And we're on hole 13. This is one that the guys like to throw giant hyzer straight into outer space, hopefully get over that last tree and spike down near the basket. There's water everywhere. This mando tree on the left you have to keep right of, the sidewalk left. We did have that super strong kind of left to right wind here, so the disc should just kind of want to slam down to the ground, and it shouldn't really find too much trouble just going left, as that one really got slammed. I think he'll be just outside the circle. Let's see if he wants to go for it. I like going up the middle. But if I've had that on a little more hyzer, it probably would have jumped all the way up there near the pin. But it landed a little too flat. And I would like to point out, Anthony did get a little unlucky here. The wind, like, he watched everyone else's hyzers drop straight to the ground, and he throws the hyzer, and it swings so far left out of bounds. So nothing you could really do on that. And I'm kind of thinking I want a piece of this. But the wind said, uh-uh. But I'll take it. I'm next to the basket and safe. See if Ricky wants any part of it. And Ricky actually hit exactly where he was aiming for. He was expecting the wind to kind of keep that straight or push even right a little bit. So, I mean, that would be the miss, would be to miss left. You don't want to miss right and have the wind or hit the cage and have it roll out of bounds. As we get to hole 14, 605 feet, this play up the middle has been gaining more popularity ever since people are watching Anthony Barela do it, I believe. But I'm taking the hyzer, swing it out right, and land in the middle of the fairway about here. Then you're going to throw a putter up shot towards the pin. And I believe this one should be playing as one of the easier holes for the top quarter of the competitors. It is just playing barely under par. But this wind is no joke as well. Ricky's getting slammed down to the right, but he'll still have kind of an open look towards the pin. Great shot by Adam. I'll see if I can follow his line. That is not the end of the world from there. I do believe he can get up and down from here for birdie. It'll just take a magnificent shot.
No way. Come on.
Looked like he released that with a little bit of anhyzer. Not something you really want to do in that sort of wind. I had to try to put some hyzer on it, but the wind just is keeping it right.
I'm gonna throw pretty fast here.
Adam calling to throw pretty fast. I think the wind kind of died down there. Great shot from Wysocki. That should be a birdie every time. So they're looking to take advantage of AB on the tree over here. Best he can get is a par. Puts it pretty close. Great shot up against that tree.
Come on.
I was taking advantage of being the shortest guy on the card. I had those limbs in my face. Everyone else would have probably had to straddle. But I was fortunate enough to not have to do all that. Almost cut straight through the basket. Had to take a double take. Good putt by Adam. Anthony will tap in his par, so looks like Ricky will move to 4 under, 1 behind the guys. And we'll get to hole 15, 741 feet. You're gonna either see a giant roller off the tee, maybe a sidearm in this wind, or a giant backhand turnover. You want to get as far right as you can, so it opens up the angle on the backhand hyzer towards the pin. Hopefully you miss this tree right here on the right. Give yourself an open look.
Get right. Get big.
Calling for it to skip, and it'll get it.
Thank you.
And this hole is actually playing just about a half a stroke over par. You know, these guys are going to try and do their best to take advantage of this left to right wind and try and get it out there as far as you can to make the upshot as short as possible. Alright, we're all in position to attack the green. Although the wind was not friendly. I basically threw that as hard as I possibly could. And I ended about 70 short. Yeah, Anthony with a giant skip gets it all the way up there. He'll have an opportunity for birdie. Not exactly sure where that one ended up. Didn't really have a putt. That tree is not friendly at all. Looks like Adam missed it by a little bit, so he'll have an open look. Seems like the wind has dropped just a little bit for our putts. Ricky really wants that one back. He's been in the cage a few times already this round. Could be the new putters as well. I know he hasn't had too much time with them. Anthony getting the lone birdie. We're going to clean up our pars as we move into hole 16, which is one of those holes where literally anything can happen. 390 feet. You're going to see a lot of sidearms on this hole. So a flex sidearm, something that you can land into the hill softly, because if you hit it too hard or have a wrong angle right when it hits, it's going to roll out of bounds pretty much every time. It seems like this is one of those famous holes where you see people blow up, take 8s, 9s, 10s, just have it roll away over and over and over. I hope we don't see that here. Anthony's looking a little inside. It's a straight skip and honestly is pretty good. He'll have a uphill look at the basket for birdie.
Don't hit that. Yeah, free love. I knew he was hitting it too.
He called it right out of his hands. He was hitting the tree. That's how good he is. Okay, got it.
Oh God.
Adam hitting the mando tree. That is something that you don't see too often. Usually doesn't come into play. There was, you know, a little bit of wind that was probably going to hold it left a little more than he wanted. And I mean, I did throw that right in the ground, but for it to get to where it got, that's pretty good. So Adam's going to have to throw like a flick roller here. Doesn't want to go too far. Nice and flat. Well done. So now he'll have about 100-foot sidearm to the pin.
This guy's ripping a wheelie on a cruiser.
150 feet, call it. Barela from circle 2. He was looking for that to drop. I don't know how that didn't drop either. It should have dropped. Fantastic birdie from circle 2. That is not one you really want to kind of go at from distance. Like I said, anything can happen. Personally, I've hit the cage many times and it's rolled. Adam to save bogey. And like I said, this is Adam's first tournament of the year. He's been stuck in snow, hasn't really been practicing. He's been out here for, I think, around 2 weeks already, just kind of playing the course, getting ready. But before that, from October, I don't think he's really been playing too much at all. So he's looking pretty good, actually. Dipping all the rust off, getting ready for the season to start in Florida. Ricky, just high. Little sketchy, but he'll take it for sure. In the basket, move on. And here we go, hole 17. The island hole. It's only 243 feet, but it's a little tricky, especially if there's some wind going on. If you miss the island, you do go to a drop zone that's looking directly at out of bounds. And this is another one that kind of anything can happen on, really. You'll see a lot of sidearms just to the left of this light pole. Have it come in and crash towards the pin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ricky's throwing like this gummy fairway thing that just hits the ground and doesn't even move ever. Barela ace running, that needs to get down. Thankfully the wall there was there to save him. All right, 4 pretty good shots. We're all looking at birdie. Anthony with the toughest putt here. Great putt, moving him to 7 under. And personally, I think 7 under is just insane for the conditions that we had to play in. I mean, of course, he made a few mistakes, but it's pretty much impossible to not make any mistakes in those sort of conditions. Rick should be tapping in for birdie, as well as myself. All right, so we're all staying pretty close. 5 under, 5 under, 6 under, 7 under as we move into the last hole, which I think is one of the better finishing holes that I've seen. You can easily have a 2-stroke swing at any point on this hole. I love that about this. The drop zone is really far away, so you don't just get a putt for par if you throw it in the water or never cross. Really love that about this hole. But 330 feet, you have your options. You can go straight up the middle with the mid-range, or you can go around the outside with a fairway or a driver. Just inside the wall. I loved it out of the hand. And it just kind of just stayed in the air and pushed it out of bounds, unfortunately. So I'll be heading to the drop zone. Great shot by Anthony. That should birdie every time. And after watching all these guys go Spike Heiser around everything, it's making me want to change my play for sure. They're all pretty much circle 1. 2 of them are parked. Here's the drop zone shot. Ricky from circle 2. Oh no. I don't even think he was thinking about putting that in the water. Just barely right and shuffles out of bounds, so he'll get to take it from right there and tap that in. As we'll see Anthony moved to 8 under par for the round. And Ricky dropped back down to 5 under for the round. Oh, Ricky, got to pick that up first try, dude. Come on. Adam with a tap in. One of the better drives we've seen on that hole. It's 6 under. And I'll clean it up for my bogey at 4 under par. Ricky is using a flag to get his disc. We'll take a look at the leaderboard here. Anthony Barela comes in with an unofficial 1060 rated -8, round 1. Very good start to the tournament. We'll have Drew Gibson, Cody Wood, and TJ Grobman on our lead card, round 2. But that chase card is stacked. We got Adam Hammes, Connor Rock, Jake Brown, and Ricky Wysocki? Yeah, I'm watching my back if I'm those guys on lead card. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys for round 2 action.